Before Newton wrote the law of gravity, before Einstein bent the fabric of space-time, humanity realized the universe runs on a hidden code. We learned to read it, and then we forgot. Centuries later, when scientists peer into the deepest structures of modern physics and artificial intelligence, they see ghosts of ancient knowledge. Patterns so precise, so fundamental, they defy coincidence. The truth is, we have deciphered the universe before. This is the story of how we keep discovering the operating system of reality, and how we keep losing the manual. Our story begins 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Here, scribes pressed sharpened reeds into wet clay, leaving small triangular marks. Cuneiform, the first writing. But the Babylonians weren't just counting grain or cattle, they were charting the heavens. Night after night, generation after generation, they marked where each planet, what they called wandering stars, rose and fell. They had no telescopes, no calculus, no metal machines. Only eyes, patience, and a radical belief. The sky had logic. And eventually, they found it. The planets moved according to ratios, repeating patterns that could be written, multiplied, and predicted. One tablet, unearthed from the sands of ancient Iraq, reveals something astonishing. It describes the motion of Jupiter with a precision that forced modern physicists to double-check their own software. But how? How could they predict motion and acceleration without algebra or physics? They didn't use equations, they used shapes. They observed Jupiter's speed changing over time. They realized that if you chart how fast Jupiter moves across the sky, the area under that curve gives you the total distance it traveled. This is the trapezoid method. They were using geometry to calculate motion. This is unmistakably the foundation of calculus. They had developed a form of proto-calculus 1,700 years before Newton or Leibniz were even born. To the Babylonians, this wasn't just mathematics, it was divinity rendered in numbers. The gods spoke through order. Across the Aegean, the Greeks took this idea and transformed it. A man named Pythagoras began teaching something radical, that everything, music, geometry, even morality, could be reduced to number. To the Greeks, beauty and truth were one. Mathematics wasn't cold, it was spiritual architecture. Pythagoras discovered that a vibrating string produced harmony only at exact ratios. Halve the string, and the pitch goes up exactly 1 octave. A 2-to-1 ratio. Ratios of 3 to 2, a perfect fifth, created the basis of music. He called this the musica universalis, the music of the spheres. He believed the planets themselves must sing the same hidden chords. It sounded like mysticism, but he was right. Today, we call this orbital resonance. In space, harmony creates stability. Look at Jupiter's moons, Io, Europa, and Ganymede. For every one time Ganymede orbits, Europa orbits exactly twice, and Io orbits exactly 4 times. A 4 to 2-to-1 resonance. This mathematical harmony, the same ratios found in music, is what keeps their orbits stable. The Greeks didn't just theorize this, they built it. In 1901, divers found a corroded lump of metal at the bottom of the sea, the Antikythera mechanism, a complex geared device from ancient Greece. It was the world's first analog computer designed to predict eclipses and planetary positions using these exact mathematical ratios. The code of the universe rendered in bronze. Then came collapse. Fires, wars, lost libraries, empires fractured, and the ancient code fell silent. We forgot the Proto-Calculus. We lost the complex machines. For 1,000 years, the sophisticated understanding of the cosmos vanished. Yet fragments persisted. A spiral here, a ratio there. The whisper of perfection known as phi, the golden ratio, 1.618. It's a ratio derived from simple sequences, like the Fibonacci numbers, and it appears throughout nature, in the growth of shells, the branching of trees, the twist of galaxies. Nature uses this mathematics as an efficient algorithm for growth and structure. Was this just coincidence? Are we just seeing patterns where none exist? Or was it memory? When Renaissance thinkers rediscovered these ratios, they believed they had found God's signature. Leonardo da Vinci used this geometry to draw the human form, believing that flesh itself followed the divine plan. The mathematics survived, disguised as art and architecture. Centuries later, the scientific revolution reignited the ancient quest. When Isaac Newton split sunlight through a prism, he saw the same harmony and color. Light was music, you could see. And gravity, he realized, followed the same rhythm, obeying the inverse square law, another precise geometric ratio. Then Einstein wrote an equation that bent space and time, and in its heart was the same insistence on symmetry and proportion. The universe, it seemed, was allergic to ugliness. Every law preferred elegance, beauty written as truth. But the most profound rediscovery didn't come from a human mind. It came from a machine. In the 21st century, researchers decided to try an experiment. They fed AI raw data, just massive lists of planetary positions and times, similar to what the Babylonians recorded. Crucially, they did not teach the AI any physics. They didn't give it Newton's laws or Einstein's theories. They just told the AI, find the patterns. And something amazing happened. Without human help, the AI started writing its own equations. It independently derived Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Then it rediscovered Newton's law of gravitation. And recently, AIs have even begun to rediscover elements of general relativity purely from observing motion. The lost patterns had resurfaced, not in clay or bronze this time, but in silicon code. The AI wasn't just matching old data, it was discovering the fundamental laws of physics. It proved that the structure is objective. It's embedded in reality itself, waiting to be found, whether the mind discovering it is biological or artificial. From the smallest particles to the largest orbits, the same geometry repeats. The universe is self-similar, recursive. This realization forces us to confront a profound idea. Mathematics might not just describe reality, it is reality. Equations aren't tools, they're the fabric. Thousands of years ago, a priest wrote a sequence of numbers in wet clay. He couldn't have known those marks would echo in computer code and cosmology. Physicist Eugene Wigner called this the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Unreasonable because it shouldn't work so well, unless numbers are not inventions but discoveries. The pattern never died. It only changed handwriting. Maybe this knowledge was never lost at all. It was waiting, patiently, in the structure of reality, until we learned to read again. Because the universe doesn't just exist, it calculates, it dreams in numbers, and every so often one of us wakes up inside the dream, long enough to write it down. But this leads to a fundamental debate. Is mathematics something humans invented to explain the universe, or is it the actual fundamental code of reality? I'm curious what you think. Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching.